Welcome to Sugar Coated Murder Podcast, a brilliant true crime podcast hosted by two zany sisters, all while baking up delicious treats in their kitchen. Here are your podcast hosts, Karen Devaney and Ann Varner.
Okay, y'all, here we are. We're in downtown Charleston.
We are, and it's nighttime, and it's spooky.
And we're ghost hunting. And we're ghost hunting with the most fabulous storyteller that we know, our friend Andrea.
Andrea, welcome.
Thank
you. No pressure there.
Just a little bit of pressure. So
step it up.
Yep. So we're outside, so we could hear dogs barking, we could hear people talking, we could hear cars going by or honking, and we might even hear some church bells.
And you might even hear like disembodied voices.
Oh,
that I wouldn't mind.
We're gonna try not to scream as much as we normally do.
I know. Yes, you're right.
Well,
and I'm
for
gonna.
Andrea.
And I did tell my son, because he's been pressuring me to exercise this week, and I said, well, if Andrea scares me a lot, there could be running involved.
When you said exercise, I was thinking exorcise.
Oh,
like exorcise a demon.
Yeah.
So I thought that was what he was
We've
trying
got
to get
more
you
of
to
a
do.
chance of me exorcising than exercising at this point.
I think that's what he was trying to get you to do.
He misspelled it.
Yes.
I love it.
I believe you. Yes. So there could be running involved.
Yeah.
Hopefully not.
What are you going to talk to us about?
Yeah.
I'm
so
going to talk
excited.
to you about three of my favorite ghost stories.
Yay.
I am down for it.
I just want to note that we are in the darkest corner
I know.
of Washington Square Park.
But it's
downtown.
so cool because
It is
we're under all the
beautiful.
oaks.
It is. We are under the oaks. The atmosphere is amazing, but I keep feeling like something's at my back, and I
Oh,
want to turn around.
gosh.
So you guys are looking at me. Tell me if anybody shows up behind my back.
Oh,
Duh.
we will.
There's also sometimes cats that come out in this
Oh,
park.
dear.
So if you see something moving or glowing eyes, let's just pretend that they're the street cats.
Okay.
Okay.
We'll do it unless it's unless they are at your height.
Right.
Yes, and then
Then
we
I'm
will
going
all
to have
be
a real issue with it.
exorcising the
Yes.
cats, and we're exercising, running down the
Yes,
street.
absolutely. Except
That's
I don't know how to
funny.
get back to where we came from, so I'm just
just
going to
follow
be
me.
running through the streets.
Yes.
So the first story I'm going to start with is The Dead Bride.
Oh.
Because who doesn't love a dead bride?
I
I mean,
mean,
that's horrible to say.
I know.
That's
I was
the worst.
about to say
It's the
that's so
worst.
exciting, but I mean that's not nice to
it's
say.
horrible.
But
It's
I'm excited
horrible.
about the story.
It is a good story. So we're going to go all the way back to 1803. This is a ghost that shows up in St. Michael's Church, which is on the corner of Meeting and Broad Street. And she shows up as a bride in the church.
In the
in her
church.
wedding dress. Yes, she shows up like she's walking down the aisle. There literally have been people who will open the church doors, and because the church is open for tours or for the public to come in and just see the historic architecture and the stained glass windows and all that good stuff, and people will open the doors and they'll see a young bride standing there, and they'll think, oh my goodness, I'm interrupting something. I'm interrupting a photo shoot or a rehearsal, and they'll leave. But there's, in fact, no
Wow.
wedding or rehearsal or photo shoot
I want her to come
going
out and
on.
talk to us.
She doesn't leave the church, and here is what I
Okay.
think is the most fascinating part of the story. So let me tell you about her.
Okay.
Her name is Harriet Mackey, and when she was, I think when she was really young, her mother passed away, and when she was only 11 years old, her father passed away.
Oh,
Wow.
Harriet.
I know, and she was an only child. She was very, very intelligent. Her father made sure she was educated, which was unusual for children of the day, for young women of the day. But he wanted to make sure she was educated. They were extremely wealthy, extremely wealthy.
Nice.
So her father passes away, and what does the family do? They don't really think about the inheritance because they assume that all of his money is going to go to the next of kin who's a male.
Oh.
I mean, no one in their right mind is going to leave an 11-year-old girl the entire land and the
Right.
fortune and everything, because how is an 11-year-old supposed to take care of all that?
Right.
So the next of kin were actually two male cousins, and they were businessmen. They were like, okay, we're ready to step in. The day comes, the will is open, it is read. Harriet's dad left every last penny to Harriet.
Good for him.
Nice.
Whoop,
Yes.
Way
Right?
to go, Harriet's dad.
Shocking.
I'm going to say his name was Harry.
Call him Harry.
Mackey.
Mr.
Mr.
Mackey.
Mackey.
Call him Mr. Mackey. There were two caveats. Harriet could not come into her fortune until she reached the age of 22, or she got married, whichever one came first.
Oh, so she could be married at 13.
I'd have been
Yeah.
like, I'm ready.
Yeah.
Tomorrow.
Yeah, but then you might get the wrong suitor.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
true. And
As it turns out, Harriet was very well taken care of with her guardians and
Good.
with everybody. She grows up. She's still getting educated. She falls in love. And by all accounts, this was a true love story. And in fact, the man she fell in love with had more money than she was set to come into.
so he wasn't
He
after
was-
her for her money.
No, ma'am.
Okay.
He was after her because he loved her. I mean, they really fell in love.
Well
and they were
done,
a great
Harriet.
match.
Wow.
Good.
Yep, great match. There's going to be a big wedding at St. Michael's. A big society wedding.
Yeah.
A couple of days before the wedding, 17-year-old Harriet drops dead.
Nuh-uh.
She does, in her
no.
house. She had been drinking tea, and clearly the tea was poisoned.
Oh,
There's a
Harriet.
big investigation,
Oh, those two cousins.
and it's not...
No, I'm jumping to conclusions.
You are jumping to conclusions, but maybe not.
Oh.
But there's a big investigation.
Sure.
Everyone right away knows, like, her tea was poisoned. This is ridiculous. This is a very healthy young girl.
Right.
And in fact, her tea was poisoned. It is so cliched.
Oh,
her
wow.
fiance is furious, and he vows to get to the bottom of it and not stop until he does.
Right.
Wow.
So, of course, the police do an investigation. They find the poisoned tea, but they can't exactly find the link of who poisoned the tea, who exactly killed
Right.
Harriet. No one's talking. They actually take the case to trial. They get an indictment against the two cousins.
Oh, wow.
They're the only ones who would have had
Sure.
a motive. Because if Harriet's dead, then the next of kin and all the fortune, the next of kin is the cousins.
Right.
All the fortune goes to the cousins.
Right.
No one else has a motive. So they bring a trial against the two cousins. They actually have the trial right over here in the courthouse across the street from St. Michael's.
Wow, that we're looking at right now.
Exactly. And what does the jury do? They find the two cousins not guilty.
Yeah. There's just
Because
not
there's
enough
no
evidence. There's no evidence.
There's only circumstantial
that
evidence.
makes me
There's
so
only
mad.
a motive.
Yeah.
There is no evidence.
Wow.
Well, Harriet's fiance is absolutely furious, and he again vows, "I will chase you to the."
Oh, wow.
That's
Wow.
some of the modernness of Charleston.
That's Harriet's, fiance still
Yes.
chasing down these.
Yep,
That's
exactly.
right.
The thugs.
He said, "I will chase these people down to the ends of time to
Wow.
get justice for my fiance." So we don't know, actually. I don't think Harriet's fiance never got remarried. He does live a full life.
Bless
He
his
ends up
heart.
passing away. But the day that Harriet was buried, and here's the interesting thing, back then, young women, if they passed before their wedding or shortly thereafter, they were actually buried in their wedding gowns.
That makes
Oh,
sense.
And a portrait was made.
That's so creepy.
It's so weird.
The dead portrait.
There is a portrait, y'all. You can Google it. You can look it up. You can find it. 1803, Harriet Mackey, dead bride. That is
No
the name of the
way.
portrait.
No way.
Yes, and it is in the Yale University collection.
Are you
And they're-
really?
Yes, and they're miniature portraits. They're almost like it would be like a little cameo
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
around your neck.
That you can,
So,
oh, my.
yeah, so when you look at that portrait, you can see this is not your ordinary 17-year-old girl.
Right.
She is not some bubblehead or a ravishing beauty. She looks very solemn, very serious. You can tell there's a lot of intelligence and depth and weight in her.
Wow.
It's a beautiful portrait.
We're gonna have
even
to-
though it's
we're gonna have to get that portrait.
Yeah.
yeah.
We gotta get a picture
Actually,
of it.
I think the portrait is owned by the Gibbs Museum here, which is right down the
Okay.
street, but it was on loan to the Yale
Nice.
University. I think that's where it is now. But on the day of Harriet's funeral was the first day she appeared in St. Michael's because she showed up for her wedding.
Showed up for
She
her
was supposed to be
wedding.
getting married, not buried.
Right.
Oh. there's the name of a podcast.
Yeah.
Married
Oh,
Not-
Married Not Buried. That is a great one. That's ours.
Just
Trademark.
come up with that. But she did. She showed up in her full wedding dress, her full regalia, and walked down the aisle. And that's where she is seen ever since. She is not seen outside of St. Michael's.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
So here's a question I have for everybody on this one. That was 1803, y'all.
Yeah.
Right.
It is 2021, whatever year we're in right now.
Right.
Something.
Why is Harriet still there? Because clearly her fiance has passed away by now, one would hope. Otherwise, he'd be several
She
hundred
has
years old.
unfinished business.
Yeah.
Yes, but once he passed away, she could have joined him in spirit and they could have been married. But I think he has unfinished business too.
Oh.
I think
he
so
is
too.
still hunting down those two cousins because he vowed to cross.
So maybe he's not at rest, and when he finally finds them, he'll
and
be
brings
at rest.
justice to them.
Then she'll be at rest. Oh, I just gave myself the willies.
You know what I think? I think when that happens, we are going to see a carriage drive down Meeting Street, a wedding carriage, and we are going to see her fiance step out of it.
No.
And he is
they're
going to
gonna
go
get
into
married.
St. Michael's.
Oh, I got the chills.
I have chills too.
Oh, my God.
And he is going to claim his bride.
Oh, my God.
He is going to escort her out of St. Michael's, and we will never see them again.
Wow.
I want to be at that wedding
Oh, my God. There is a carriage over there.
right now. Except it's got a lot of
I
people.
know. Oh, there's a carriage tour. Oh, I got the chills. Oh, my hair is standing on end.
I know,
Wow.
right? Mine does too. Every time I get to that point in the story.
Yeah,
Which
I
I think
love
there's
it.
some truth to that.
I think so too.
I love it.
I feel like
So they never figured out what the hell happened.
They know what
cousins have
happened.
to
well,
be
they
dead.
know. They just
Cousins
don't know
have
who
to
did
They
it.
can't. I think everyone knows the cousins did it.
But
They
then how
just-
do you get...
They can't. They have to bring them to justice. They've never paid for it.
But
No.
how do you do that now? Because obviously they're dead.
Well, he's chasing them through
He's
hell.
chasing them through. He said he was going to cross. Chase them across time.
Yeah.
Oh.
I think
Yeah.
there's some
He's time traveling.
quantum stuff
Oh
going
my
on here
gosh,
that
what a
we don't
great
understand
show
right now.
that would
I
be.
think he is chasing their souls.
Wow.
I really do.
love that.
And
Yeah.
he's going to make sure that they pay.
Wow.
And when justice is given to their souls, he will come get Harriet.
Wow. I love it. And she's waiting.
She's waiting.
Mm-hmm.
I just want to
So hard.
see her. Just want to see her so badly. So
Well, you might.
maybe one day.
We'll walk past it before we leave.
I
and
know.
You
Can I-
can peek in.
Listen,
Church bells
There they
ringing
go.
for Harriet.
She's calling for you, sugar.
no. I think the church is calling Harriet, saying, "Come on."
No, I think that's Harriet ringing the bells, telling you. to
I'll
come
go
on.
right in there and
Come
ask
on, I'll
Harriet,
show
"Are
you."
you here?"
Let's go.
In a minute. Like I'm gonna do that tomorrow at noon. I mean, I'll do it. I would walk in there if it's not dark. I don't like it dark.
It looks like they turned the lights out. The lights were on, but they look like they're out.
I know it looks like they turned them out. That's rude. That's very rude.
Turned
Harriet
out on
said,
Harriet.
"Click, come get me,
Exactly.
bitches."
Oh my God.
Oh, that's a wonderful story, though.
is.
There's roaming.
Oh, over.
I think our next ghost is calling us.
I think
Oh,
so too.
oh.
To the
Church
next
location.
church.
Yay, what is
Yes. Okay,
it?
let's.
We're gonna go to the next church.
Yeah, we're gonna pause. All right, tell us where we are.
We are on Church Street in front of Dock Street Theater, which used to be called the Planters Hotel.
Okay.
And hotel is a bit of a euphemism. I mean, people did, in fact, stay there overnight. But on the bottom floor, which is now the lobby of the Dock Street, the bottom floor was like a really super high-class bar, basically.
okay.
Like a lounge, a lobby, but that's where all of the highfalutin businessmen would come after work, and they would have, it was a very actually shishi place.
Nice.
They'd
I
have
like
their
sushi.
cigars and drinks and converse and blah, blah, blah. Now, most of them would actually go to church on Sunday morning with their families right across the street at St. Philip's.
Okay.
It's so gorgeous.
It
Beautiful.
is gorgeous. Yeah. So the subject matter of our ghost story is Nettie Dickerson.
Okay.
And we're going to go back to 1838.
All right.
Nettie is a young woman, and I need to say young woman by our standards today. She was already 24.
Oh wow.
We're
an
in
oldie.
dispensterhood back then.
Oh gosh, yeah, she was like an
She was
old maid
ancient.
back then.
But Nettie was from the rural parts of South Carolina. People claim that she was from the upstate kind of area, but
Gotcha.
rural, very rural.
Right.
She was very good looking, really pretty. She had plenty of marriage prospects.
Oh.
But they all entailed her staying in the country and being a country wife.
Oh, no.
She wasn't having that.
She wasn't. She had this independent streak, and she had a wild imagination.
Right.
And she always loved Charleston. And she could just feel herself being pulled to Charleston. She really wanted the city life. She wanted arts and culture and everything that Charleston offered. So her local parish priest said, okay, let's get you to Charleston. Let's get you in a safe job set up, and let's get you down there. So he made a deal with the priest here at St. St. Philip's. We're at St. Philip's now.
Can you tell me again around what year this was?
1838.
1838.
So he, the priest here says, yes, we would love to have this young woman come work for us. And she could do a ton of stuff. She could do anything that needed to be done. She was a working class kind of girl, but very, very capable and very smart. So she could do the bookkeeping, she could organize events, she could do whatever the church needed to have done. And in return, she got room and board.
Okay.
In one of the, parish houses or something.
Right.
And she even got a small clothing allowance.
You go, Nettie.
Fancy Nettie.
Right.
I love it.
So she could make herself presentable. Because I need to say, St. Philip's was a very high society church.
Okay.
Right.
So she needed to look presentable
Of
to
course.
the families who came there. And she was well beloved. She performed so well. All of the families loved her. They actually found that her sort of country innocence was very refreshing.
Oh.
And they loved that she was industrious and smart.
Nice.
So our young Nettie, though, realizes I'm 25, and most of the men that are coming after me, she was sought after here in Charleston, are already married.
Excuse me?
Oh, no.
And they
That's
were
naughty.
looking for her for other reasons. They were
It's not
treating
nice.
her as if she would be a mistress.
Yeah,
Oh,
like a
Mom.
side piece.
She was a side chick.
That's not
Yeah,
nice.
Nettie ain't no side piece.
No, that's not what she had in mind. But she also understood, you know what, the men who she was wanting to marry, they would never marry a working class girl.
Right.
They would marry in their own
Into society.
And at this point, she's old. So
Dang.
she's really like side chick material at this
Dang,
point.
Nettie.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
So Nettie climbs up to that very beautiful steeple that we're just now, we're looking at while we're standing right here. And from up in there, she could see all of Charleston.
Oh, nice.
And she had a vision.
Oh, good.
I like a
Let's
vision.
hear.
I love a vision.
Part of the vision included her looking at the Planters Hotel
Oh.
and looking at all the men who were propositioning her, who were married and coming with their families to church every Sunday.
Oh, yeah.
But they were coming in and out of the very glamorous Planters Hotel. And really, that's kind of the scene she was looking for. She
Right.
wanted to
Sure.
be part of the conversation, the action. And the other men that would come here would be the folks who were coming in from other places. It was a huge port here in Charleston. So
Yeah.
it didn't just cater to the locals. You get a lot of international businessmen. So she's thinking, maybe if I can somehow get involved with that crowd, it's going to
Okay.
be more open-minded. Maybe there's a prospect there for me, but maybe I'm also going to learn and have good conversation with
Sure.
these,
Yeah.
it's a whole broader world out there, and that's what she was looking for when she came to Charleston. But she understands what this is going to entail. So she saves up her money, and she buys enough fabric, a bit like Scarlett O'Hara here. She saves up, gets enough fabric to make her a brilliant flaming red dress.
Girl.
Nice. I love red.
And she makes this dress herself, and one night she flings open the doors to the Planters Hotel, and she just stands there.
I'm
Very
home.
Scarlett.
Exactly, like, here I am.
Love it.
Awesome.
They took her in. She later became the hostess
Oh, good.
Oh.
for the Planter Hotel. We do not have any indication that she was a mistress or a madam.
Right.
Okay.
We don't really know. Ooh.
Here she goes calling to us.
Yeah.
Yes.
She said, thanks for telling my story. Appreciate that. I love it.
So Nettie actually becomes a smash hit over at the Planters Hotel, and she makes way more money than she ever made as the church mouse.
Sure.
Basically,
Yeah,
right?
I can see that,
She
yeah.
gets all the attention she's ever desired. She is living her life,
Nice.
much to the chagrin of St. Philip's.
Oh.
So the priest she used to work for would come by constantly and say, Nettie, you are on the wrong path. You have got to come back to church. And she's like, no way.
Right.
No way.
Why?
Why would I bother?
She got so... she was here for years, and she would have lived actually in the hotel at some point. She became so brazen and so... She was very respected there.
Right.
But not respected on the streets.
No, I wouldn't think so.
But she did go to church every Sunday morning.
Good for her.
And as the years went on, she was met with more and more judgmental stares by the wives.
I would imagine.
Because they're like, you're entertaining my husband 6 days a week. I only get him on Sunday morning.
Right.
Well, honey, put on a red dress.
So one night, Nettie, though, is really struggling inside because she still doesn't have a husband. She still is like, she's really loving this exciting life, but it's, it didn't turn out like she imagined. So one night she comes out here on this balcony, this wrought iron balcony, and the priest from St. Philip's comes by and he said, please, I have not given up on you. I'll never give up on you. You need to come home. You need to come back to St. Philip's, and you need to come back to your job. You give up this wicked way of life that you have right now. And a big thunderstorm broke out, and lightning started just going everywhere, right? And she stands up there on that balcony and she holds very firm her hands on the wrought iron, and she says, never. I will never come back. I am at home.
No.
And she gets struck down by lightning in that moment.
That's amazing.
And she dies.
Oh, Nettie.
But
Nettie, I mean, that's her dramatic exit.
Yeah.
It is her
Yes.
dramatic exit. And she is constantly seen as the Dock Street ghost because this was the home she loved. So Planters
Sure.
Hotel was then later renovated into a theater, and people see her walking up the stairs in her ball gowns and her
Nice.
glamorous.
Yeah, she said she's never leaving.
And she loves it. So people will see a very glamorous ghost walking up there. Now, I will tell you one thing strange.
Okay.
They see her with her legs cut off beneath the knees.
What the heck?
But when they renovated the building, they changed the height of the floors.
Oh.
So she is still actually walking on the level of the floors that used to be there.
Oh, that's so neat.
Oh, that's crazy.
Not what is there now.
Oh.
So when people
So we
see
can't
her
see
now,
her. We can't see the bottom of her legs.
you can't see her shoes and you can't see
Okay.
her calves, but you will see her from the knee up, walking as if she's in sort of the middle of the floor or up the stairs.
Or if she's in a ball gown, we're not
don't
going
need
to
to see
see
it
it
anyway.
anyway.
Wow.
So we're good. That's amazing.
She's actually a really popular, not popular ghost, but she's a very frequently seen ghost. So there's a lot of times when people are doing shows in the Dock Street, they're doing rehearsals, and a lot of times they use kids. Like if there's a big kids show or Christmas thing, and the kids who have no idea about this ghost story will come running home and tell their parents, I saw this lady in this beautiful ball gown, and she was walking up the stairs, but
she didn't have
like full legs, and I thought it was part of the show. I thought it was something that they were tricking us on.
Oh.
And then the parents will say, well, we've heard there's the ghost.
Oh, the kids never want to come back.
Yeah.
Some of
They
them
quit
like
the show.
don't want to come back, but some of them really want to come back and see her again.
Exactly.
So I actually think because Nettie's something of a showgirl,
Okay.
so she might feel really comfortable in a theater.
Right.
I mean, she was really,
I would think so.
perhaps an entertainer at heart and soul. Like maybe that's why she couldn't stay in the church. She wanted to be.
Well, and if
the
you think
center of
about it, like
attention.
plays and shows, and they're looked at as being cultural and worldly, and so that still might be her jam.
It totally is.
Yeah,
Totally is.
that kind of that entertainment industry
and
part
welcome,
of society.
Come in, step inside these doors and
Yeah.
step into another world.
I love it.
One that you can leave behind when
Yeah, I love. That's a
Nice.
great story.
That's a great story.
Man, I love her.
you leave. Nettie is near and dear to my heart.
Yeah.
I feel like
get it.
And I
she's.
don't feel the judgment. She was very severely judged by Charleston.
Well, I feel bad for her because she shouldn't have
do
been
too.
judged. She was
Yeah.
ambitious before her time.
Yeah.
So
Love it.
Rock on, Nettie.
Oh, there goes a little kitty cat.
And there's the kitty cat.
My heart's
Holy
racing a little.
moly. I feel like that the bottom of the sidewalk just fell out.
Oh my God. Again with the chills.
That cat just came out of nowhere and just was like,
That's Nettie.
and now where's the cat?
Gone.
Oh, going to the corner. Maybe she's going to church.
No, maybe. That's so
I think
funny.
they had saying like, I will never.
I will never go to church again. So as you were saying, talking about Nettie, and we're standing here, and I was leaning against the wrought iron gates of the cemetery. I'm brave. And as you were saying that, I could smell a very floral scent coming from behind me. And it was just very strong. But as soon as we saw that cat walk by, it's like a fan blew the scent away, and the scent is gone.
Oh my gosh,
you
I
were
didn't even
smelling-
smell it.
I smelled it so strong. It was. I kept thinking, do they smell that? Like, where is that coming from? And I know it was from behind me. I don't know if Nettie is just hanging out with some peeps back there or what, or if there's another ghost trying to get our attention. But I definitely could feel that. I could smell it so strong.
Easily could have been a woman's perfume, like Nettie's perfume.
Very
or
floral,
another
like a
woman.
woman's perfume.
Wow.
Yeah. Especially back in those days where they used a lot of herbals and florals and stuff. So, yeah, so I
Very
just wanted
cool.
to point that out. All right, we're trekking. Okay, well, now we're at our third spot. I don't want to say it's our resting place because that's not.
It's not your final resting place for sure.
No, well, this is just where we're taking a break. And we're going to chat a little.
This is my favorite ghost story. Okay, so we're moving forward in the 1800s, and we have a young, saucy, sassy girl named Sally.
Sally.
And we are standing right now in front of St. Philip's Church. And Sally lived down the street. Now, today, it's well lit by street lamps.
Sure.
It would not have been back then. So imagine more like gas lanterns that are just really on the porches or in the front doors of people's houses. They're not really lighting the street. So this would have been pitch black, the street.
Oh my gosh.
So Sally's having her debutante year. She's coming out, and that coming out process, there's lots of dinners and lots of balls, and all of their friends are also having the same thing. I mean, this sounds really hectic to me. So the story takes place in December, actually, and you guys will know that in December we constantly get fog. It's very frequent. That's not just dark, but it's also really foggy, and it gets very dense.
Yes.
So Sally and her friends, they've done with dinner. The adults are downstairs, and they're all, chattering. And actually, one of the guests at this dinner was a medium from New York.
A New Yorker.
Which means he's, because he's from off, he's more legitimate.
Of course.
From here.
Yeah.
So he's holding the seance, and he's telling like all the energies he feels around, and he says down the street in the St. Philip's Cemetery there is a gray man. There is a man, and I feel that he is there guarding the grave of a very young boy, and he is guarding the entire cemetery to make sure that, first of all, the young boy never feels left abandoned or alone, and second of all, that nobody kind of comes in the graveyard with ill purposes. No one's going to
very thoughtful.
Yes, no one's going to come in the graveyard in the middle of the night and try to vandalize it or
Noble
make
ghost
mischief.
right there.
Yeah, noble
ghost.
Now, in fact, there is to this day, you can go back there and check this, there is the graveyard, the grave of a 10-year-old boy who passed way, way back. And in fact, it was so way back that when this little child passed away, the cemetery wasn't as populated as it is today. Today, it's like a whole bunch of graves in there.
Oh, yeah.
But back then, his family was one of the first to have a plot, and he really is. There are plots in the back of the cemetery, and he would have been all by himself.
Aww.
So it's very sad. So it makes sense that this gray man would be protecting the child, and also making sure no one else goes in the graveyard to make mischief.
Right.
So all the kids get together afterwards, and they're like, "That's a load of crock. That guy is just making stuff up. He was just, who knows." So Sally's really running her mouth.
Oh, Sal.
That's Sally. That's
Yeah,
Sally
she's
for you.
sassy.
She
She's
is
Sally,
sassy
and she's
Sally.
coming out.
And one of her friends says, one of the guy friends says, Sally, are you serious? You don't believe in the gray man? Like, I mean, he told you, like, that we know there's the 10-year-old boy back there. He gave you facts. You don't believe in the gray man? Sally's like, psh, whatever.
Oh, gosh.
Gray man, no gray man. I'm not scared of him. And Sally's talking up all of her bravado, and her best friend says, Sally, you need to zip it.
Right.
They're the equivalent of that back in
Whatever that was.
Right.
Mid-1800s. You need to cool it, calm down. And Sally's not giving up. She's like, I don't care about any gray man. So the male friend says, the young guy says, all right, you don't care about a gray man? I double dog dare you.
Uh-oh.
I would have said double dog, but
No, it would have been like, I don't know what.
I dareth you.
I
double dareth you.
I dareth you.
Dareth you, and I'll bet you this hoop and stick.
I dare you to go into the graveyard at night and go see if you can find the grave, the gray man.
I dare you to go into the graveyard at night.
I double dare you. So you got to go. Double dog dare you. Get up on these spiked things and get over.
Oh, no.
I'll give you a leg up.
Who's going to catch her on the other side?
Nope.
The gray man.
The gray man. Duh.
So Sally takes the dare.
Oh, wow.
She's like, I am not scared of the gray man. In fact, if I see the gray man, I will talk with him, and I will come back and tell you what he has to say.
There you go.
She is very brave.
She is very brave, and she's ready to just bust out. And the guy says, okay, wait, hold up. How are we going to know that you're not actually just going to step outside your porch?
Right.
Yeah.
Wait a few minutes in the yard, turn around, and come back in. And he has a walking stick.
Okay.
Oh.
Gentlemen back then, even young little masters, carried a walking stick.
Yeah.
So Sally said, give me that walking stick. I'm going to take it all the way to the back of the graveyard, and I'm going to shove it in the ground next to the little boy's grave.
Oh.
And tomorrow morning when it's light outside, all of you scaredy cats can go in the cemetery and you can see where I've been.
Oh.
Yeah. And then you can give me that hoop and stick.
Give me that hoop and
Exactly.
stick.
That's right.
I will have earned it.
I will have earned your hoop and stick.
Sally grabs the walking stick, not the hoop and stick, whatever that is. And she clacks off into the night. Her little shoes like, well, very quickly she's outside the safety of the porch light, and she's engulfed in the dense fog of a December evening.
Right.
So they can hear her shoes coming down Church Street, and then they don't hear anything at all.
Oh, no.
So, of course, they're all hoping that she just turns around and comes back pretty soon, right? 15 minutes go by. Okay, it's not really long enough for her to make it all the way back into the cemetery and back home yet. 30 minutes go by. No Sally. An hour goes by. The dinner party is breaking up.
Oh, no.
The parents want to say their goodbyes. They want to say goodbye to our debutante. Where is Sally? We need to tell her goodnight. The children have to confess the dare.
Oh, no.
The fathers are furious. They grab every torch they can and come out into the night because they're not worried about Sally in a cemetery. They're worried that she could have fallen and broken her neck.
Right.
They're worried that she could have been picked up by some scoundrel.
Sure.
She could have been
Something
kidnapped.
nefarious could have been about.
Horrible could have happened. So everyone grabs their torches and they come down Church Street and there's no Sally. They come into the cemetery and they flank the walls of the cemetery. There's no Sally. They get all the way to the back where the little boy's grave is. They find Sally.
Oh, Sal.
She's face down. Arms are outstretched. She's been clawing at the ground.
Oh.
Her face is contorted in a scream.
Oh.
Sally's dead.
Sally.
What the hell?
What happened to her?
What happened to you?
Well, it's Sally. It's Sal. Sal, sugar. She's dead.
I understand, sugar, but Lord have mercy. I mean, Lord, yes. Sally, she's dead.
Oh, you're nefarious.
Nefarious?
Whatever.
She's notorious.
You're with your hoop and stick.
Well, the hoop and stick was the problem.
Ah.
Sally had, in fact, made it all the way back like she promised, and she had put her walking stick into the ground next to the grave. But when she turned to flee, the walking stick apparently had grabbed the edge of her skirt.
Oh my gosh.
She was
the gray man
pinned.
got her.
Well, she must have. So here's the question. Did Sally scare herself to death? Or did the gray man come out of the grave, grab Sally, hold the stick down, and make sure she never left?
Oh.
I'm going with number 2. I'm going number 2. I'm not going number 2 right now. No. I'm going with number 2. I say number
Option
2. Option 2. That's the one I believe. Because she was up to no good. She was being mischievous.
She had false bravado.
Yes,
sure.
and she was mischievous, and the gray man didn't like that.
No.
He didn't want any mischievous in the...
Yeah, she had ill intent.
She did.
She was coming to prove her own ego, and it turned out to be false bravado.
Yeah.
Oh,
and
no.
the gray man, he done got her with the walking stick.
Is the walking stick still back there?
You can go back and check.
I don't
I'll
want...
give you a leg up.
No, sugar.
Come on.
Stop it with you and your leg up.
Leg up. I give you a leg up.
It's going to take more than a leg to get me up.
I'm thinking you can crawl up this tree, shimmy across that branch, get up on that thing,
If
and
I'm
then
not
jump
mistaken,
down.
sugar, this is a crepe myrtle. It is not likely to hold my weight.
It is not a live oak.
It is not a live oak.
I want to know, is there really a 10-year-old boy back there?
There is.
Oh.
Yeah, absolutely. I've checked it. There is a
Wow.
10-year-old boy back there. Yeah, a 10-year-old grave. And I think, if memory serves, it's from the 1700s.
Wow.
That's really old.
Crazy.
Yeah.
That's really old.
Yep.
Like, that's older than you, sugar. I'm sorry.
I'm going to get you.
I'm going to put it on pause for a second.
Thanks for sharing those creepy stories, Andrea. That wraps up another episode of our OctoBoo series. Send us an email with your spooky stories to murder.sugarcoated@gmail.com. Y'all have a great week. Bye.
This has been Sugar Coated Murder Podcast, a deliciously entertaining true crime podcast. Like what you heard? You can always explore past episodes by visiting sugarcoatedpod.com. Don't forget to like our Facebook fan page and share with friends. Thanks for listening to Sugar Coated Murder Podcast.